Good evening. Today I want to cover the ongoing war in South Lebanon. We began the day in Saida, a city that has become a refuge for countless displaced families fleeing the violence further south since the war began. It was Friday, and as expected, most shops, restaurants, and schools were closed. The streets carried the quiet hum of a city adjusting to abnormal circumstances, trying to hold on to any semblance of normal life. Walking through Saida, I could feel the weight of what was happening. The city was alive, yes, but it was also bearing the burden of recent strikes that hit hard at Saida. Every corner told a story. A family trying to piece together a life interrupted by war. For a moment, it was easy to forget how close we were to the front lines. And then we headed to Sur. The road there grew heavier with every kilometer. As we drew closer, the calm of Saida was replaced by a stark emptiness. Sur was eerily quiet, like a ghost town. All I could hear was the distant airstrikes in the border villages and the drone above us. I remember stepping out of the car and the ambience hit me hard. What was once a city full of life, lovers, families and children was now reduced to rubble. It was as if life had been packed up and carried away. All that remained was dust and an unshakable sense of unease. There were still people who couldn't leave or wouldn't leave, clinging to hope in a country that seems to face war every few years. Looking south from Sur, I saw faint plumes of smoke rising from the bombarded villages. In particular, I witnessed a strike on Melkiye. During my coverage, I also met journalists who had been there for months, some for over a year. Their faces were etched with exhaustion. I spoke to one videographer who told me that even though his media outlet provided him with a room to sleep in, he couldn't use it. Instead, he slept outdoors right beside his camera in case he had to go live at any moment. After reporting the reality of the South, we returned to Beirut. And then, just as I was absorbing this eerie emptiness from the car's window, I saw them. The Roman ruins. These ancient stones, weathered by millennia, stood defiantly amidst the newer ruins of war. History layered on history, tragedy on tragedy. The juxtaposition was haunting, a reminder of civilizations that once thrived here and of the one we now live in. It wasn't just the destruction I saw or the fear I felt. It was the human stories etched into every step I took. Saida and Sur weren't just cities. They were mirrors reflecting what war does to a place and its people. I left the South that day, but I carried its weight with me. It reminded me of the resilience of this land and its people, and of the heavy cost of war. And it's so important to tell these stories, to bear witness, even if it's hard.